when you think of where SRG is right now, it's more than just the meta that's in flux. Even they are in, let's say, their Metapod or Kakuna phase for those Pokemon fans, because they changed their jungler. Like, this is Uni right now. We're so used to it being the Sky Prince, the MVP of MSC 2024 in Sekais, but it's Uni who's playing, and they got to this point with Uni. And folks, it's not like he got lost along the way in Paris. Like, he's still on the team. It's just this is the shape that SRG is in now going into game number 1. Atlas, Selena, get out of here. Freya, Marcel, get out of here. What does this leave open? I'd say think of that whole Nolan Hirara trade. Think of if you want to get rid of Melissa this early on.
Oof. If they don't get it, I'm expecting the trade is probably going to be for the Melissa. If not that, then the Barretts. Like, both these teams obviously want the Barretts. We have seen that go blue side.
There it is.
Priority, they will take out the Melissa, though. So Onic's going to go ahead and take that. If this is... So now the choice is Harara or Barretts. What do you ban out if you're SRG? You know, you kind of have to decide from there.
You know what? I think there's enough reps to just give Kyrie the Hirara, then play from there. Again, you're going to get the winning Nolan trade anyways. Consider this as well. Midweek patch, right? Changed very little. I believe Kaja should not be available for play just yet in case there's like, you know, the 100 people in chat asking where's the new Kaja. He's reworked, so don't even think about it. But Gord nerfed. And Novaria slightly buffed. I guess that's the reason why we saw her get played in a couple of games this past week.
Yeah. I shed a tear for Gord, you know, because he had his moment. I guess I should be happy that it lasted as long as it did.
Yes.
You know, but it was time for a change, and I got a chance to try the Kaja too, man. I don't. Again, we probably won't see it here, obviously, but we can look forward to it in the future because I think it was a really fun change that that Kaja went through. Now, Barrett's being banned out, so, you know, they're taking their time, but I'm still expecting this just to be the Hirara trade, unless Onic is deciding to do something else. We got Onic fans out there, too. Love the stickers. And, you know, of course, we've had a lot of fans being able to go ahead and meet the teams. I think that's been amazing. Whoa! A Paquito first pick instead.
Okay. So instead of it being the telegraphed Hirara into Nolan, because again, the Nolan wins that about 60% of the time, they go for the flex in blue. So this is Coach Chewe, Coach Yeb going, yeah, we're on blue. We're going to get the priority and we're going to control the draft. We're going to flex on y'all into blue 4-5. How does SRG answer back? I don't know if it's worth it to put Hirara on Uni and then grab something else like a Valentina this early on to kind of block out potential fake outs. But also, considering Barats is out already, they might invest in like a solid XP lane like an Esmeralda. Esmeralda wins against Paquito.
Yeah, maybe just get it early. Otherwise, they could risk it going over on the flip side to Onic. They're going to go with the Hirara, though. Belric was kind of what I expected, though, to be one of the answers here. That's usually what happens over on the first phase for red side once they see that blue priority. So you get the Belric, now you have the Hirara, which makes sense because also we've seen that Belric picked up so much when it is first pick blue side Hirara because it just kind of helps, you know, lock down who you need to with the Wrath of Dryads, but also the playmaking potential. Now the thing though is, Leo, like we've seen, I think the meta with some of these top heroes being picked up, there's more flexing happening, you know, and some teams have tested out. We even saw the likes of a Rome Valentina come through. Obviously, the Valentina Novaria combo that we saw yesterday. Belric can be parked into the XP lane, not just in that Rome. And there's a whole lot of that you can actually play around with. But this seems pretty standard. We'll see exactly where SRG's going with this on their third pick. But with the Uranus over there, so now you know, all right?
Paquito,
is he going jungle?
Do you?
Right?
Here's the thing. By Uranus going blue 2-3, you don't know where the Paquito's going. And again, throwing back to, I don't know, as far back as like 8 months back, we've seen Uranus in the jungle. So who knows what Onic is cooking?
Oh, that's true. And now that we've seen Valentina in the Rome, Paquito can go in the gold. I don't know, man.
Yeah, nothing is set in stone. This is a
mind games.
This is a very flexible draft that they've gotten. Blue 1-3. Red 3 though, closing up. Look at SRG. All cards on the table. This is most likely an EXP Ruby, like 90%.
Yeah, 90%. I mean, there's still a world where it's like, oh, remember the day of, gold lane ruby? That can still be a thing, right?
But
gold
it's
lane
cram, though. It's cram.
Yeah, it's cram. It has to be going over in that XP. So Belrichrome, pretty straightforward, I would say, for SRG, which leaves us to still wonder what they're going to put, exactly 100% what is going in the jungle for the hands of Kyrie. You see that out there, too. Kyrie diff. I think a lot of people have been looking at these junglers that we've seen so well over the years now, develop into these star players and everything else. And you think, okay, well, this is kind of the assassin meta, right? So they should be able to do this, this, and this. And one thing's for sure is the compositions now are so, even more so, I feel like, really based around allowing your jungler to get that momentum building early on, scale up from there, and then let them just kind of take away the game. And that's why we have such fast games. I'm not sure exactly on the average game time of games of the future, but it's definitely maybe that 15 or less minute mark. We've had a handful of games maybe only go 20 plus minutes. I mean, me and Wolf were asking desperately so we could have an evolved Lord, because I kind of forgot that it's been so long in some of the games where it's like, man, where's the evolved Lord going? We haven't seen him in a while, right? Because all these games ending 15, sub 15 has been the case. So last couple bans will tell us where they're going with it. The Dairoth being banned out by Onic, Harley on the other side. So even SRG isn't 100% sure yet. So they're going to go and just cover the base, ban out the Harley.
Because of how flexible either side is and this abomination of a metagame that Moonton has concocted for us, both sides are flexing really hard. That's why those bans are so weird. An XP laner, a jungler, a mid laner, a roamer. I can't remember the last time a metagame was this in flux. So Red 4, the pick for SRG, I'd say lock in that gold laner right now. Show us. Leave the mid so that you can kind of prio balance that with the Beleric with Red 5. So yeah. I'd say expose that gold lane right now. I'm sure Innocent can handle it, whatever it is. Like, if it's going to be a Moskov, oh, that would be really good. Oh, instead, it's a mid laner first.
Okay, Kimmy. So they want to hold on to Innocent's pick. Get with the Kimmy. They have a whole lot of crowd control, man. Like, this is so much crowd control that SRG is looking to potentially play with. Right now, there's a lot of damage, and soak up potential that Onic can utilize here. Valentina most likely will just... You got a couple options, actually. Do you want to take the Wrath of the Dryad, that ultimate from Belric, or do you want to go ahead and take the ultimate of Ruby, the I'm Offended? There's some great setup potential there. Now, these next two picks will put all the pieces to the puzzle for Onic.
They need crowd control. Now you mentioned it. There's that crowd control. Massive source. The Guinevere, which we still don't know where it's going. Again, there's a world where it's actually going in a Keyboy's hands.
Okay.
And it's not. It's a Jungle Gwyn, Rome Matilda, Gold Lane pack. Okay, so this kind of makes sense now. It's like a well-written Nolan film, well, the very first one, and maybe a little bit of Tenet. So it's non-linear drafting.
Okay, non-linear drafting. I like how it doesn't come to fruition until the very end, though. Then we really know where it's going. But dude, this Matilda yesterday alone caused so much trouble for the opposing team, just because, again, mobility, right? Shields. Pretty good poke, I'd say, too, after she got that buff back when that last couple patches ago when she got that buff on her Wisps. She's able to actually go ahead and poke pretty well. You pair it up with this Guinevere, who gives you also great crowd control. And now the answer. Okay, so Esmeralda's open. Might as well. We know there's shields that are going to be popping up over here. You get the Esmeralda, go ahead and deal with that. This is the eternal battle in the XP lane. Not too much is going to happen there, but everything will happen around these objectives. Now, Leo, real quick before we jump into the game, who are you leaning towards for game one? Again, it's a best of 3. You can only do so much in 3 games, and that's hopefully what we get. Where are you going towards for game 1?
I really like how decisive Onic are. I was so sure that Cram was going to get his hands on the Ruby, but the 10% swing, again, the fact that there were an ungodly amount of shields forced them to throw it into the hands of Innocent. And then they picked the Esmeralda, Red 5, to answer all of the aforementioned shields. So with that said, I'm liking Onic. Yeah, sure, you get solutions, but at the end of the day, who's the beatdown? Who's dictating what you're allowing your opponent to do? That's Onic. So I'll say Onic had a better plan. Yes, SRG did get the pivot, but going in a
that
game.
she's capable of doing. The way she moves around the map and everything else. Sometimes you think you have a team fight won, and then she escapes. Well, Matilda helps you do that. So here we go. We're going to be jumping into the Land of Dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's the semi-finals here for the Games of the Future. We got a best of 3. One of these teams will move on to the grand final, and one will be knocked down to that 3rd place match. So let's go ahead and jump into this one.
Good priority coming in from SRG. The space that the Kimmy and the Bellerix engagements allow for this duo to kind of play toe-to-toe against a very deadly Matilda and Valentina combo. So that allows SRG to cross over first. Cram coming in to help equalize to get that little Wanderer, and that allows SRG to go up maybe about 100, 200 gold.
All right, a little bit of early poking happening here in the mid lane. Of course, this is kind of what we expected. It's funny because the matches yesterday, I felt like were a little more, in terms of the mid lane, you didn't see, when it got to game 3, you didn't see that crazy go-to strategy where it's like mid lane's whole, pre-first turtle is let's see if we can get some battle spells out. Let's see if we can actually cause some havoc here, potentially get a first blood. But when that doesn't happen, it's kind of more of a stalemate into that first turtle. Then you're like, okay, eventually this big fight is going to break out. Looks like they're going to go for Cram. It's tanky enough, though.
Ooh.
All right.
Given that was just a 3-man gank, Onic tried, and you can see how early on, even without items, Keyboy's Wisps hurt. But again, Cram, no worries there. Did not need to pop the Purify. Maybe just needed to regen, so that's a free resource. Turtle spawns in the upper quarter. Good start for the bottom lane as well. Sans here in trouble. Forced to flicker back. Stormy wants to finish the job. Finds it. SRG draws first blood. Up top, though, they force a Purify from Cram. And they will trade up for SRG's team captain's down. Here comes SRG. Coming for the clapback. Down goes Kyrie. Uni takes him down. Onic out of jungler. Circling Eagle. Kaka! Knocking up one, but Stormy gets away. Able to purify through, and Uni finds K-Boy. Lutpi gonna dash on back. SRG, massive win across 2 lanes.
Oh, man, that was really good from SRG, and this should result in them getting this turtle, because I don't think Kyrie's going to be there in time, as he's just going to grab his buff. And Yum's setting up, so Uni able to secure the objective, and some kills too. Again, 2 kills in the hands of Uni on a Hirara. Now, usually when the Hirara is picked up, we've seen it go to a point where, it might struggle a little bit in the early game, but if you get some early kills, and you're moving the way Uni's moving, this is why people have been so impressed by Uni. Again, Sakai's amazing jungler, but Uni, when he stepped in, even back in Paris, people were like, how would this pan out? Well, now Uni starting strong in game 1 against Onic to get SRG to the grand finals here. This is something that can snowball out of control if you're Onic, and you gotta be a little cautious about this, because the way that just Hirari can do some crazy things. This is why I was saying it almost felt coin flippy because of her kit, and that's why if you're gonna pick a Guinevere, which we saw banned out quite a bit of times, they can still play with that potential to go in spatial migration, Requiem combo. But what they can't let happen here, Leo, is those stacks to build on the Sky Piercer of Uni. Remember when we've seen a fully stacked Sky Piercer Hirara, how dangerous it can be.
I don't think dangerous is the word to describe it. Unfair is a little more appropriate. Selangor Giants now crossing over to the lower quarter of the map. They know that they have the initiative here. They have tempo on their side. They're forcing Kelra back. And here's the issue with a Uranus, right? If you're holding the map hostage, you're winning. But if your opponent doesn't care, you're kind of just a big meat shield, a walking ward. Your vision that floats and moves around. So I think that's what Selangor Giants are taking advantage of, the fact that they've isolated Lutfi from the action. It's basically Cram calling the shots, holding down the lane, and then he'll be able to make it back after expanding rivers. Turtle spawns lower quarter. Let's see how Onic close this gap. It's about a 700, 600 gold lead.
Yeah, it's not too much. Turtle's going to be up, but they'll make their way down here. Again, expanding rivers is the map, so quick rotation for the objectives. SRG doesn't want to go ahead and just start this up blindly, though. They do meet Lutfi here in the mid lane. They knew he was going to rotate down, but not really able to do too much. Cram picking up a Enchanted Talisman. So now they'll decide to go ahead and start up this turtle. Kelra's getting a good push, though, into that turret. Turtle secured.
What a yeet coming in from Kyrie. That is the pulse thrown out by Stormy, no one home. That's an interesting start. I think Selangor Giants were overthinking it. They were considering we can take it slow, we have them by the ropes, and then Onic says, nah, we have you by the ropes. All this while, Kelra doesn't even care. I think he paid for that coaching session with that turret down bottom, and he said, I'm gonna get my reps. I will get my sandbag, and he will get a slow push. I don't think Innocent can stop this.
Yeah, again, I think he was treating that like a punching bag, basically, as the turret falls. Kelra just goes ahead, converts a turret for Onic, plus get that turtle. Helps them. Again, it's not a big lead or anything, but SRG was maintaining a small one, and now that's pretty much been taken care of. Sans holding on to his own Wrath of the Dryad here. This is a very slow-paced game in terms of fighting, because again, both teams' compositions are that way, right? Uni wants to get stacks, he wants to get kills, which he started, but Onic responds by just kind of slowing things down. If they can steal objectives, kind of take them away from SRG like that turret and like that turtle, then they're happy with that, because again, they're fighting into this game of we've got utility, right? I think that's the biggest thing on their side, is they've got utility to work with, and they have to be a little more, they have to play a little more finesse with these team fights, just because of the crowd control overload.
Oh!
Okay, Yums.
Yums coming in, flicker out the Dryad, stack pending on Sans, but he gets away. Uni says, I will get mine. Couple of iframes already. Kyrie looking for his man, finds it. Dash and Requiem closing the gap. Uni overextended himself. Selangor Giants already down about 1,000 gold. They miscalculated how much range they could play with. Onic are calling the shots. Kelra books another membership up top. He has a second punching bag to deal with.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and take that one down too. Last turtle is up. Again, Uni getting punished there. Loses a little bit of those stacks, of course, that he built up here with the Sky Piercer. And now Kelra continues to push. Someone's going to have to go deal with him. If he continues to do this, he might rotate down with the expanding rivers just so they can secure this third turtle. It's being held here. It's going to go for a reset. Kelra makes his way. Sounds will clear out the wave. He doesn't have an ultimate stolen yet.
Lutpi doesn't even care, man. This is best case scenario. Onic have forced SRG to respond, but the Giants will take the turtle, and Lutpi continues.
No.
Onic did not get to take advantage of Lutpi's spacing. Oh, he does pop the consecration there, holding on to Purify. What is Onic playing here? What's the long-term benefit of playing footsies like that and not getting anything in return? SRG have effectively closed the gap. They stopped the bleeding. Joseph, there's just barely 2,000 between them. That could have definitely gotten worse, but SRG put a bandage in. Comes Kelra. Punches Innocent in the face. Finds Keyboy, and it's enough to stop him. That traction pulse stops the rest of them. Now Uni finds Kyrie coming in with one dash, an iframe. A little bit more left in the tank. Uni wants stacks. Finds Keyboy. Takes a bit of damage from Kelra. Punch to the face. Spell Vamp will keep him top. Just like that, a domino effect. SRG now close the gap once again. Barely 500 between them.
Well, I don't know. You asked me what was the play, what was the long game here for Onic. Well, I think they're losing control of the potential for something to happen here, Leo, because now the tier 2 turret up top most likely going to go down as SRG is controlling the space. They do clear out the wave, but it's under half health now. And with a Lord coming up in about 45 seconds, SRG is showing that right now they just have kind of this, they have more damage to work with. I mean, Keyboy was deleted there, it seemed like, from Uni. You know, he's able to go and happen. And maybe this will tell us why. The items that we're looking at right now, you can see a bit of a difference over there for the XP, the mid, and the jungle, obviously. But one of the biggest things, again, is just the threat of stacks on a Hirara. Even without the crazy amount of damage that we're used to seeing with Marksman, for example, when they get that whole that trinity of items set up, it's just the amount of burst and ability they can work with here. And here's one of the things Onic has to do is, you know, again, crowd control being SRG's one of their biggest favors. We saw it earlier in one of the team fights where if your Wrath of the Dryad or your I'm Offended, and even the Traction Pulse don't land the way that they want them to, then you can re-engage into the fight and make something happen with themselves. Kelra more so just has to kind of wait for that opening. You know, that's one of the main things. He's mostly just been punching turrets. Well, pretty soon he's going to have to start punching SRG here. This Lord is up. It's being slowly worked on, but they can go ahead and just delay this further. There will be a wave cleared up top by Uni as they go ahead and get ready to take this. They might just look for a fight. Conceal's used. Okay.
Lord here, taking quite a bit, down to a quarter. Uni going to punch him. Lutfi holding down, left mid brush. Taking a few hits from Stormy. Lord gets reset. No action just yet. Coming in! Big 3-man! Make it a 4-man! Requiem coming through! But the damage isn't true. Kelra couldn't get the right punches. There's the stolen Wrath of the Dryad. Yums once more. Cram putting about a bit of damage, dancing around him. Shields for you, shields for me. Down goes Stormy. Stance finds him. Now Innocent falls. SRG are down 2 men. Yums running away. He's burning. He lives. And now the iframe saves Uni as well. But another circling eagle. Does this ult not have a cooldown? Onic are happy with what they got. Cram maybe one more, make it 3. They missed a hat trick. Uni iframes through, but Kelra catches him in the chin. And now Cram might fall, but Cram does find Kelra first. 3 for 1. Massive win for Onic. We're going back and forth here, Joseph, as Kyrie threatens another ult, and he finds it. The Requiem plus the stolen Wrath of the Dryads once again. The pulse won't stop it. Keyboy falls. Hume's still alive. Lutfi trying to put Ionic Edge sacks. Kyrie gets a double. Now Stormy gonna be up next.
Kyrie!
Stormy gets taken down. Innocent. Not enough lifesteal on this Ruby. That's a wipeout. Onic go for the Lord.
They played the long game, Leo. What a team fight. That was dragged out so much that we saw, what, 2, 3 circling eagles and a bunch of setup potential, and they're going to be able to secure themselves a Lord here. But man, talk about patience. You know, being able to maneuver around that, you know, Kelra able to go ahead and secure the kills there when he needed to, but then it was just Lutfi being that frontline bulwark and then playing around Keyboy's guiding wind and circling eagle, allowing Kyrie the opportunity to find the right moments of, okay, I can jump in here with that spatial migration, violent requiem when it's up, and make it happen. I mean, these are such long and extended team fights. And think, the last time we used to see this is every single time there was a revitalize on the play. But now there isn't. It's just these compositions. They allow these long team fights to happen. And now for SRG, they're going to lose some real estate across the map. The top tier 2 goes down. Kyrie pushes that. They try to deal with this Lord as it's going to slowly make its way to the base turret. Meanwhile, mid turret should go down next. But
I'll tell you now,
knocking on the base.
It's cooldown and spell vamp. That's what's causing all of this, and they're forcing purifies. As soon as Onic finds that, they go for the kill. Threatening that push on the bottom lane inhibitor. Mid falls, Lutfi taken down by Uni. Stacks traded here and there. Gets one up. Some key item pickups for Silango Red Giants. Onic are happy with what they did. No more outer turrets for Malaysia's champions.
Okay. They find Lutfi. I'm so surprised that he goes down that quick. But yeah, they lose some holy defense shield. Now SRG's looking for a potential play here. Kyrie sees them.
Oh, massive Requiem finds 3. Comes in for another circling eagle. Serves up Innocent. And now even Yums won't survive. Cram is dancing away his troubles. He will survive, thankfully. Has enough tankiness. Flicker and combo coming in from the gold standard. Down goes Uni. Cram the only one left. It's a wipeout. KK gets 2 KOs. And now they go straight for the inhibitor. And I think this is where we say, that's it.
Onic played the long game in this best of 3 against SRG. The sustainability, the shields, and the mobility come in.